Hello, my name is Dr. Orlando Lewis, and I serve as the Vice President for Student Affairs at Livingstone College. I am with Mr. Charlton Killian. Mr. Killian, welcome. Mr. Killian is currently working with the Protective Security U.S. Federal Government Social Security Administration. And today it is my pleasure and a privilege to speak with Mr. Killian as he has political aspirations. Mr. Killian, please tell us about yourself and what are some of those political aspirations?
Yes, good evening, Dr. Lewis, and thank you for having me on your show this evening. Hello, my name is Charlton Killian, and I'm here to earn your vote to become the next sheriff of Rowan County. I've been in law enforcement for 35 years. The respect of law enforcement has diminished over the years due to law enforcement actions. We have to respect our communities, and our communities have to respect our law enforcement. And start with involving ourselves with the community and looking like the community also.
Now, when you talk about the community here, you've been involved in Ready to Rebuild the communities with your 35 years of services within communities here. Can you talk about some of that service that you have provided within different communities here?
Yes, sir. I first started off in 1987. I started off with East Spencer Police Department. I stayed there till 1990. I left there as a sergeant, line patrol sergeant. I then got on with the state. At that time, it was the North Carolina Division of Motor Vehicles. I started in 1990 with them, and we went on into 2005, and we transitioned to the Highway Patrol. We all became one unit. Stayed with the Highway Patrol till 2016. I retired from there as a master trooper from the Highway Patrol. I've always been with the Rowan County Sheriff Department as a part-time deputy sheriff, and still is as a special deputy at the present. At the time that I retired in 2016, I got with Homeland Security, FPS, which is I'm a protective security officer with the federal government at I work all federal facilities, and I work at the Salisbury Social Security Administration at this time, right now.
Wow, with all those 35 years of community and service within those communities, specifically in law enforcement, what are some of your accomplishments within those particular areas?
Well, basically, a lot of my accomplishment is being able to work I've worked state, federal, and local agencies. I did come to the rank of being sergeant when I left the East Spencer Police Department. And basically just the experience to be able to finish law enforcement with 30 years. A lot of people that starts out, never really, get to finish. And by me being able to start off at a small police agency and then end up being with one of the biggest agencies in the state of North Carolina, that's been a blessing. Also been part of a sheriff department and now working federal. So my accomplishments is being able to say that I've worked all three. And a lot of people can't say that.
That's definitely a huge accomplishment here. I know that you are running for a sheriff.
Yes.
And kind of give me a little background, if you will, or a little update on what are some of your responsibilities as sheriff, and what would you do if you became sheriff of Rowan County?
Okay, well, basically, the sheriff department, on my information, what I'm trying to portray to the public is a sheriff is for all people of his community. And mainly one of the bullet points would be as lowering crime for a safer community, which that's the aspirations for all law enforcement agencies. You want to try to keep crime as low as you can, and the best as you can. The next thing would be reduce in crime utilizing the latest intelligence-based preventive policing. That's using different type of technologies and things that we have now that we didn't have back in 1987. When I got started, it's law enforcement is a whole lot more advanced now in this 21st century. Then you look at the crime reduction through information sharing with other law enforcement agencies and continued relationship building and education. Basically, we have to be able to educate our kids, get them into different type of programs. I want to be with the state of federal and local leaders to be able to try to sit down and find ways to get kids involved and just don't have them having idle time to do nothing. The pandemic has put a big damper on a whole lot of things. People just been sitting at home and just idle mind as a devil workshop. And you got little young kids get bored, don't have anything to do. And we have to involve our communities and our sheriff officer or all of our agencies with them. We all have to come together. And my main pet peeve for my bullet points are the prevention through the methods of training. The main thing is de-escalation training, the domestic violence training, you have crisis intervention, and you have sensitivity training. If you look at it, anybody who's in law enforcement knows that these, other than domestic violence, all of those bullet points are something that you deal with every day when you come to interacting with people in the public, when you go to someone's house to respond or anything like that. You have to use the de-escalation as the main thing. My main thing that I'm going to bring to the sheriff department is we're going to have to train like hell, because the more you train, that keeps you out of lawsuits.
Yes.
And as we can see, that's happening and occurring every day. I just seen out in Connecticut where a young black gentleman is paralyzed now because he was in the back of a truck, in the back of a paddy wagon, as we call it, a van. They didn't have him strapped in. The officer had to throw him brakes. He ended up hitting his neck, and now he's paralyzed. Policing is a lot of common sense. You don't have to be a BA or have a BA or a master's degree to be able to do it. The main thing is empathy, and you know how to treat people. You want to be treated the way that you want to be treated the way you want people to treat you. And the thing about it is we're not getting a lot of that. We're just ending up just hiring a lot of people just to fill a position. And it's costing a lot of these agencies because of that, because like I said, you have a lot of people with a badge and a gun on that doesn't need to have one.
Yes.
And we're going to have to do stringent background checks and stuff and make sure who we putting a badge and a gun on, because like I said, it makes the agency liable for whoever you put out there.
And that's definitely something that, with your training background, that you definitely want to enhance and build on some of the things that are in place and perfect them. And that way, of course, that will, generate and create change.
Right.
Definitely.
Right.
Well, at this particular time, I know, as you state, that a vote for you is a vote for you. And of course, it's time to serve and protect all people, changing history for real here. The election today is November 8th, 2022. And is there anything else that you'd like to say?
Yes, thank you, Doc. A couple of little points I want to fill in. What I can't stress this enough, voting for the president, and when you vote like that, that's a great thing, because I vote for everything. I teach my daughter to, she votes. Local elections are one of the most important elections that you can vote for, because you have to look at this. You are dealing with people that you vote for, your sheriffs, your DAs, your judges. These are people that's in your community that you're going to be involved with for 2 to 4 years. And that's as you see, the president comes down, but he just comes in, but these are people who affects your life.
Yes.
And a lot of people rather vote for the presidency and don't want to vote locally. And right now, with a whole lot of things going, having your sheriff, having your DAs, and your district and your lawyers and all of that is very important, because, like I said, if you're in the system or a family member or someone is in the system, you're going to deal with one of these people. And you want to make sure that maybe you have the best person that you think is going to do what they say they're going to do when they get in there. So these local elections, I can't stress how important it is to go out and vote locally, because, like I said, that's going to determine how your community going to end up being, who you put in there for at least 2 to 4 years. So, and my thing is, I would just want to stress for everybody to come out and vote. We can't complain, you always, something happens, you see everybody on TV, all upset, saying this and saying that, but when you ask them have they voted, nobody has voted. And a vote does make a difference, as we can see with Ketanji. The way she was able to get in there, if we didn't have those 2 votes from Georgia, it would have been a good possibility that she wouldn't have got into that Supreme Court filling. And so voting does count. It counts. And as your next sheriff, I would bring integrity, knowledge, and the people have to know your sheriff, and your sheriff has to know the community. And my main pet peeve is our sheriff department has to look like our community. And I mean, it's a rainbow of a community that we have, and we need to have our sheriff department and all of our agencies to look the same way as our community do.
All right.
Thank you, Doc.
Well, thank you, Mr. Killian, for taking the time and providing us with that pertinent information. And good luck on November 8th, 2022.
And we appreciate it. And like I said here, with the blessings and support, if you want to support, go to KillianForSheriff.com, and it'll bring up all my information. If we need finances too, you can go on there, and it'll be a AB app on there if you want to donate to the campaign, because we have to be able to get information out there, and your donations and stuff would be greatly appreciated. And look forward to being the sheriff of Rowan County with the help of all the citizens of Rowan County. Thank you.
Thank you.